LeBron James was absolutely sensational in two ways. The first 3 quarters, he was sensationally awful. And the last quarter and overtime, he was flat out sensational, as in good. The first 3 quarters, I found myself, Skip, as sad as you are about your Spurs, is as sad as I was about LeBron James. You're 3 of 12. You can't buy a basket. You're tentative on every possession. You look flat out scared. Scared to shoot, scared to dribble, scared to make things happen on the offensive end. It was like the weight of the world from 2011 and before had all just descended upon him in one fell swoop and just laid on his shoulders once again. And I said, and I found myself literally, win, lose, or draw, LeBron, please don't go out like this. Please don't go out like this. You're too great. I don't want to see you go down this way. Because the way he played in the first 3 quarters, had he finished the game like that and Miami had lost, that would have been a story. It wouldn't have been about Dwayne Wade's lack of production or his injuries. It wouldn't have been about Chris Bosh's lack of production. It wouldn't have been about Eric Spoelstra's coaching decisions. It wouldn't even have been about the Spurs being a better team, which 3 out of these 6 games they showed themselves to be. It would have been all about LeBron, what he didn't do, and what have you. And then this dude came out in the 4th quarter, and he looked like he did in Game 6 against Boston without the jump shots. He said, I'm going to the hole. And by the way, the headband thing, even though I usually don't engage in hyperbole, I think we nitpick from time to time and make a big thing out of something that's not so big. The thing that I was laughing about with the no headband is anybody that knows LeBron knows that he is the antithesis of me. See, he's very, very sensitive about his receding hairline. I have no problem with it whatsoever. It is what it is.
Still handsome.
Join the club. Join the club. We all. Listen. Myself,
Stephen A.
wears no headband.
I wear no headband. My hairline's receding.
It's fine.
Listen, people like our guy Marcus over there and Tyler Corn, our research extraordinaire, they need to get with the club too. Y'all hairline is going back. Join the family. The point that I'm trying to make to you,
a little bit.
Listen, they know. Listen, we all family. It's okay. It's all right. You understand? But the point that I'm trying to make is
he just called out the whole show.
Anybody that knows anything about LeBron knows he's a bit sensitive about that receding hairline. He wasn't sensitive about it last night. Didn't care. Came out bald. In attack mode, 7 for 11, shot 16 quarters in the 4th quarter. And then I said to myself, oh, my Lord, this is a roller coaster ride because he's nosediving before our eyes in the first 3 quarters. He elevates himself to LeBron levels over the course of those first 10 minutes. And then the last 2 minutes, a turnover, a missed 3, a bot shot that Kawhi Leonard got a piece of. And then he went down again. And you're like, what is this? And then he hits the 3. He hits the 3 and gets a steal before ultimately Ray Allen validates his Hall of Fame credentials by hitting that big-time shot. So, in the end, it was sensational on 2 fronts. But I definitely think LeBron went a long way to redeem himself for his performance over the first 3 quarters. And one of his boys called it a gladiator performance. And I think that's appropriate here because the man played 49 minutes and 46 seconds, every second of the second half and overtime. And without 2 of the big 3, offensively that is, this dude carried the Miami Heat to a victory in Game 6. So I give him a lot of credit for that.
Okay.
Before I answer the question, I would be remiss if I did not point out the defensive job, the number that LeBron James did on Tony Parker, who went 0 for 4 in overtime.
And that was the point that they were making with the gladiator performance because he was defending Tony Parker primarily the entire second half.
Now, please re-ask the question, Kerry.
How impressed were you with LeBron James' late game performance, Skip Bayless?
I was extremely impressed that LeBron James finally came to his senses in the 4th quarter and began to do what he clearly does better than any human on this planet, which is simply attack the basket. How many billions of times do we have to say that? He lost his headband and he found his head. It's like, yeah, that's what I can do. Morris Diaw can't keep me from the rim. Kawhi Leonard certainly can't keep me from the rim. LeBron James had missed his last 8 jump shots. And LeBron finally said, out of desperation, guess what? I'm going for 2 dunks and 4, as the play-by-play calls them, driving layups. 2 dunks, 4 driving layups. Explosion! And takes the game over. And in a way, it was an indictment of everything LeBron hadn't been doing, not only for this game, but for the previous 5 games. Where was that in those 5 games? What does it take to motivate LeBron James to go into attack mode that way? Then, as you so astutely point out, LeBron suddenly lapsed back into shaky late-game LeBron. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, he's fallen back into position to be the GOAT again. Not the GOAT, greatest of all time. I'm talking about the GOAT of the series, because with 39 seconds left in regulation and 28 seconds left, terrible, ugly turnovers. And with 40 seconds left in overtime, another. What are you doing, LeBron? Turnover. These are impossible to explain. What are you thinking, LeBron James? Turnovers. Yet he was let off a huge hook by the Spurs missed free throws, the refs' blown calls, and ultimately by a very thank you basketball gods fortuitous bounce off the 3 that he bricked with 8 seconds left, that bounded high to Bosh, that went to the great Ray Allen, who shot a shot for the ages, the corner 3, which did rival, to me, it rivaled Michael's hold the post shot in Game 6 at Utah.
You're talking about Ray Allen?
Yes, Ray Allen. This is do or die, man. That's it. That's game or not. It's over. Terry Champion's going to be right if that goes.
Skip, excuse my interjection for a second here. If you slow-mo that shot for Ray Allen, what makes it so beautiful is that he's in 2-point land. He steps back beyond the arc without ever looking down. He never looked down once. And the jumper, the way he leaned straight up, elevated, he could have easily, if he had been approached one more inch, it could have easily been called for a 4-point play, because you just never know. But he elevated the shot. I mean, if you are an aspiring shooter, you watch that one play and you realize that you realize why this dude is the most prolific 3-point shooter.
Do you know how many millions of times he shot that shot?
Yes, all the time.
Millions of times.
Special.
Literally
you're talking
millions
about him not
of times.
looking. He felt it. He already knew.
He knows.
But again, if that shot doesn't go in, I'm not sure where it leaves LeBron for the game, because he'd have 2 last-minute turnovers, and you'd say, what was that about, LeBron? Right?
Well, I will say this. Here's what would have happened. We would have lamented his performance in the first 3 quarters and his performance in terms of those turnovers over the last couple of minutes. But we would not have ignored the fact that he had carried the Miami Heat the way that he did in the 4th quarter. And in the end, if you talk about, I'm talking about without those last couple of minutes, then you're talking about him still having a triple-double at about 28, 29 points instead of 32. So it's not like it would have been considerably worse if all we had to lean on was the 3 quarters and something reminiscent of that, like the last 2 minutes. But that 7 for 11, 16-point 4th quarter, that was huge.